Hi guys, my name is Adam. I'm the CEO of Subx and welcome to our live AMA. I do apologize for the wait. We do have some technical difficulties with YouTube and thus we are here on Facebook for now. Don't worry, it will still be recorded and posted on YouTube so you can tell your friends who are missing out that it's going to be on YouTube, right? So this is our seventh AMA and I'm here to answer questions that you guys might have because the last time we had our AMA, it was approximately a week ago. And I think since then there are a lot of developments and I think we are really excited to share it with you guys. So we're gonna do it in two segments, right? So the first segment will be me answering questions that have been posted on Telegram, on Twitter, and all of the questions that you guys have directly messaged the moderators. We have compiled some good amount of questions, and we will be answering them directly. And the second half of the segment will be you guys able to ask us questions on Facebook or on Twitter, and we will get the moderators to actually send them in, and I will reply them live on the spot. So before that, I would like to say that we have launched our swap app 2 days ago. This allows people and new users to buy Subx token without having to go on PancakeSwap, typing in the contract address, setting slippage, and it's overall a more pleasant experience. So the marketing team has did a good job with the promotional video, and I'm gonna play it right now. Right. Okay, that was a pretty dope video. So what Subx is, we are trying to build a world's most impactful startup ecosystem. And how we achieve this is by creating an ecosystem of web and mobile applications to support every single stage of the startup journey. We are developing four apps right now, namely the marketplace app, the community app, the learning app, and the career app. And we want our ecosystem to provide startups with the best chance of progressing in their journey. So we do have a couple of questions, and I will be answering them right now. One of the more popular questions is what would be the long-term goal of SubX? What are we going to do in the long term? So to start off, we would want to create a community and ecosystem, and that's why we are releasing applications, right? Anyone in order to access these applications, a user has to actually hold a certain amount of SubX tokens before they're able to access the benefits from these platforms. And over time, what we intend to do is that as more and more people use our platform, they do have to purchase Subx token, and that supports a price growth for our token. In the long term, we eventually plan to use so 8% of all transaction in with Subx actually sorry, 8% of all, it's late in Singapore, man. It's 9 p.m. All transaction has an 8% tax, and 1% of this 8% goes to a venture capital fund. So the venture capital fund is a fund that we're going to pull together so that we can invest and we can give funds or grants to impactful startups. Eventually, how we plan to monetize this model is that the grants and funds that are given to startups have to be repaid back, and they will have to be repaid back in monthly installments. We will use the proceeds from these installments to buy Subx token from the open marketplace and burn them permanently, increasing the price and value of the Subx token while allowing startups to have the opportunity and the capital to continue creating impact and scale and grow their business. So yeah, so we have the past 2 weeks has been a really fun ride for us. A lot of things happened in the last 2 weeks. So first of all, we moved into a new office space. So right now, if you actually take a look, this whole place is the studio portion of the office. Right outside the door, right there is where the quarters are at, like the marketing quarters, where all of the marketers, all the designers are sitting outside creating content, planning strategies for the upcoming week. For our development team, they're still in our previous office. They are made up of six very talented people leading the development of all our applications. So two officers, one with a studio. All the equipments are coming in soon. So we're getting foam pads, getting lights, and we plan to do more AMAs often to interact and to communicate um, to you guys. So this AMA, it's not scripted or anything like that. I'm looking at the camera or looking at myself on the screen. It's really from me, from my heart to yours. So I see that Eddie, you are asking about a studio tour. Yeah, someday, really soon, we're gonna post a YouTube video on our we're gonna post a YouTube video about on our office. So back to the question, we have been receiving a lot of questions about how are we going to go about attracting startups across the globe um, to join our ecosystem, and I think that's a really good question. I think if you have run a startup before, you know that capital money is really important, right? And we are going to provide these startups not only with the resources, the applications to help them to grow and scale their startup, we are injecting capital into them. And I think that would turn a lot of heads. And we already have a pipeline of startup we are ready to give money to in exchange for a revenue sharing model or some royalty so that we are able to pump the process into purchasing Subx from the market and burning them. And that leads me to the next question. Um, when would the next manual burn be? That's a good question. The team has set certain milestones on when we are going to burn our tokens. And the first milestone that we are setting for ourselves is at 10 million market cap, where we will burn 2 to 3% of our total market cap. Subsequently, from uh, after we get the proceeds from startups that we invested in, we will continue to burn them periodically and on a monthly basis. We will be completely transparent. We would post all of the burn statements and all of the transactions on our website. So if you have any questions, you can write them here, or we prefer you to actually private message Jiwon, our community manager, or Zemin on Telegram, and we will share them here. So let me share a little bit more of the team. And keep in mind, I'm so sorry. It's almost 10 p.m. in Singapore, and everyone had a tiring day. So pardon my droopy eyes. Yeah. So the core team is made up of six people, and we come from a wide range of expertise. Myself and our operation lead Joe, we have exited multiple startups throughout the past 4 to 5 years. Joe recently sold his startup Time Block for $250,000 to a popular reflection app called Reflectly on the App Store. And I'm currently in the process of exiting another startup that I started 6 months ago. What we're trying to say here is that the team, we are not the best entrepreneurs in the world, nor are we the best startup founder, but we do believe we have the skill set to cultivate an ecosystem where we can leverage on our members like you guys watching, and along with partners to kind of build this vision of creating the world's most impactful startups ecosystem. And I think we have a really good shot here, right? Having this platform on DeFi, on decentralized finance, on the Binance Smart Chain, allow us to do a lot, to have capacity to do a lot more, um, to have a lot of more features than if we would just do a traditional organization. And one of the most important feature that we are promoting is that you as a holder of Subx, you're able to vote for the startups that we are investing in. And how we do that is by we calculate the amount of Subx tokens you have in your wallet, and that contributes to the weight of your vote. So the more Subx token you have, the more impactful your vote will be, so that you can fund your preferred startup. And I think that's really great because traditionally, firms will do their own due diligence on their startup. They will have a small team to do it, and once everything is settled, then they will make an offer. But we are decentralizing the entire process, where the community are the one that's going to do their due diligence. They're going to go vote for them, and they are also going to play a part in contributing to fund the startups, because 1% of all transaction goes into the venture capital fund. So yes, and another question is that we get a lot is that, are we a registered company? Are we a registered entity? So to the answer of to that question is yeah, we are a registered private limited company based in Singapore. We have engaged law firms to make sure that we are not breaking any laws. And I got to be really careful in all of these AMAs to make sure that whatever I'm saying is as accurate as possible, because there are a lot of regulatory laws regarding cryptocurrency, and we got to be careful not to infringe on any one of them. So, what kind of startups are you guys looking to fund? I think that's a really good question, and that will be the question that we will transit into segment two. You guys can continue to ask questions. You guys can directly message G1 or Termin. They are in the group chat, or you can post it on the Telegram chat, and I will take a look and answer them. So to continue that question, what kind of startups are you guys looking to fund? We are looking to fund impactful startups, right? No matter the space, no matter where they are from, who the founders are, startups that can make an impact to human lives, and not only human lives, to lives in general, to make the world a better place. So we have been getting a lot of questions whether we are going to fund other DeFi projects or other crypto projects, and the answer to that is yeah, why not? If they're doing something impactful, we are more than happy to actually invest in these startups. And when these startups grow, we will be able to use the proceeds to buy Subx from the market, burn them, increase our token price, and everyone is happy, right? They get a better ROI in their investment, as well as they are actually making impact in the world, and that's something that we're really passionate about. Um, so the next question is, will you be holding any networking sessions among the community? And the answer to that is yeah. If you check out our roadmap, we are planning to have a conference where we invite speakers down to talk about their startups, their journey, as well as networking sessions where people and members of our community can come together and make friends, network, and you never know, the next partner for your next $1 billion idea might be right here in our ecosystem. Any plans for a centralized exchange listing? So that's a really good question, and I think a lot of people do not realize that as a deflationary token, as a token with transactional tax, whenever we hop onto a centralized exchange, um, we lose the ability to charge transaction tax on transaction, because if we're doing it on DeFi, on PancakeSwap, every single PancakeSwap transaction is recorded on the blockchain, and that we can actually apply a 8% tax onto it. However, if transaction happens on a centralized exchange, most of the time they are not registered in the blockchain until you withdraw your amount of money, of your amount, your Subx of the exchange, before it gets taxed. So it at such an early stage, listing on a centralized exchange might do us more harm, because we are not able to continue to add liquidity to our pool, not able to draw that 1% tax to fund our venture fund, as well as our holders will not get the reflection rewards that are actually that they are entitled to, right, on a decentralized exchange. So I think I'm going into the tokenomics a little bit too much, and I think for the newer holders that just came in or have just supported our project, they might not be too familiar. So you know what? Let me pull up our white paper and I'll go through the tokenomics one more time for you guys. All right. So right now I have our white paper and right beside me. I think you guys should be seeing it right here. Subx token is a deflationary token that rewards users for holding the token. So, like most token nowadays, we do this by reflection rewards. What it means is that as long as you hold Subx token in your wallet, you will receive 3%. You will receive a portion of 3% of every transaction, and that can accumulate and scale really, really quickly. So, in terms of the allocation, out of 8% tax, 3% would be rewarded to all holders in a proportionate manner. 4% will go into our liquidity pool to ensure that we have a stable price floor and that people are able to trade the Subx token easily. Next 1%, the remaining 1% goes to our venture capital fund, where we will use a portion of this fund to not only fund our development and marketing, but to also fund impactful startups that you guys vote for. A good question that I've seen in the past is that, do they believe is 1% truly enough to be able to build a fund sufficient and significant enough to fund startups? And the answer to that is yes. For now, at the early stage, 1% is enough to accomplish our goals, because when we have a daily trading volume of 250,000 US dollars, that's equivalent to $2,500 per day. That gives us an odd 60 to 70,000 dollars at the early stages of our development to already invest in startups. And we plan to start doing that as soon as we release all of our applications. So far, the marketplace app has been released. It has been released in the alpha stage, where we are still fixing some bugs, and we are planning to launch it in the beta stage, where people can already start using the application next month. In fact, we have already built our community app as well, and we are still doing the final testing. Actually, I hope my developers do not murder me, but I can actually show you guys a sneak peek of our community app. So we are planning to we initially did a community app a couple of weeks before our launch, and we weren't particularly happy with it because we felt that it wasn't sticky enough. So we gamified the whole experience, and you can see here in our community app, we have badges, we have quests, we have ranks, to add a sort of gamification to our community app, as well as credits where you can actually earn Subx token by being an active contributing member to the community. And we have a forum as well, where we open up the forum for people to talk not only about startups, their businesses, but as well as any other interesting investment opportunities in not in traditional finance, or in the crypto space, where you can talk about any cool DeFi projects that you guys are excited about. So all of these are still being finalized, and we are really, really, really excited to be launching them really soon. So another question. I had once read that Adam said that his target is to bring Subx to 6 billion market cap in 6 months. My question is, what makes him so confident? Because that's a really challenging and amazing target. Okay, I think that $6 billion market cap, that is not accurate. But I did mention that our goal is to hit $1 billion market cap in 6 months. It's an adventurous goal, and how we plan to do that is that from zero, from launch all the way to a $10 million dollar market cap, we're going to be relying a lot on marketing, a lot on creating hype, a lot of creating greed, to for people to buy our token, a lot of excitement, right? But excitement, marketing, FOMO, greed can only sustain for so long. From 100 to $1 billion market cap, from 100 million to $1 billion market cap, we plan to do this by getting users on board our ecosystem. Because every user that comes on board our ecosystem, they have to buy Subx token. And if we can accomplish this in a sustainable and a rapidly growth manner, it's a very clear roadmap to a high market cap token, and that's something that we are working towards every day. We are increasing our team as we speak, and we are really, really excited to launch new programs and initiative for our community. Right. So give me a minute while I take a look at all of the other channels, because I see that G1, our community manager, has been blasting me with a lot of other questions from other platforms. So just give me a minute while I take a look. In the meanwhile, I will put up the swap at video again so you guys can enjoy what the marketing team has done. All right. All right. Okay, I'm back. So I checked my messaging applications, and I saw a couple more of good questions. First of all, I would like to answer a question where someone has asked, do you have plans to do a certic audit in the future? And the answer to that is absolutely. we do plan to have, although we already had a security audit, we plan to have a full logic and security audit by Certic really soon. They're really busy. They have been replying to our messages a little bit slow, and they're really expensive as well. So we got to make sure that we are planning to use our strategic audit as a marketing, in part of our marketing campaign as well, so that we can hopefully see a increase in holders and a nice price bump when we announce this collaboration. So I'll leave that to determine our marketing lead as well as Joe, our operation lead, to make sure this happens really soon. And I'm really excited for you guys to meet them in the upcoming AMAs. So I All right, so just a fun fact, I was the one who developed the Subx website. So just in case you guys didn't know, I am also the lead developer in this project. I do manage the development team, and the direction and how they build the applications. We have a really, really outstanding global consultant as well, Lucas. He's a software partner at one of a big startup in Brazil, and he has been guiding us as well on scaling and maintaining our infrastructure. So another question that we have is how long can we expect a startup to generate profit, right, before we can buy and burn Subx token? So that's a really good question. And when we first start off this ecosystem, we will only be funding startups that are already revenue generating, that they just need the extra capital for a marketing boost or to fulfill their operation needs. This ensures that we are able to get back a ROI quickly, especially at the start, and that we are able to buy, burn Subx token from the get go. I think that's a really good question because in the long run, we would like to fund early stage startups as well, pre-stage startups, seed stage startup, ideation stage startups. And this investment require more time to materialize, right? And there's also a higher risk associated with them because when you're pre-revenue, when you're at a very young startup stage, there's a higher chance of of taking a longer time to develop your product. There might be certain complications along the way, and that might increase the amount of time that we can actually receive a healthy profit and ROI from our investment. So 9 out of 10 startups fail, and that's a really, really huge number because out of the couple of hundred people here, if everyone did a startup today, only 30 to 40 of you guys will have a successful startup. And I do not think that's right. I do believe that everyone should be given the tools and the opportunity to have the best chance of success, and that's what the Subx ecosystem is about. So our marketplace app, our community app, our learning app, they're all completely free to use. You're able to use all of the applications for free. For the learning app, we will be uploading online courses that you can access completely for free. And the only thing that you got to do is to buy and hold Subx token. And I think that's the essence of what the ecosystem is. We're not trying to punish anyone who wants to learn, right? Because there are a lot of solutions out there in the market where they're like Coursera. There are a lot of platforms where you can pay 20 to 200 US dollars just to access learning materials, which isn't too bad, but I do believe it's still a barrier of entry, right? Because if you want to learn a new skill, right, and you take a look at the price, okay, it's 200, $300 to learn that skill. You know what? Maybe I'll just, I'll skip it. And I don't think that's intuitive at all. We believe that if you want to learn a new skill, you should have immediate access to a quality education to pick up that skill. Because when you first run a startup, you have to wear multiple hats, right? And you got to learn how to do digital marketing. You got to learn how to do product management, operations, communications. There are a lot of stuff you got to do, especially when you first start out and you have a small team. And having quick and easy access to quality applications is something that's really important, and that's what we're trying to offer you guys. That that access to quality education, priceless. So hi Umar, what is the professional background of the core team? I think I've answered that in the previous when we first started this AMA, and to give you a brief run, actually, perhaps I can pull out my LinkedIn here. So give me a moment. All right, I'm in. So for myself, I've been running a web development firm for the past 2 years. What we do is we actually build software for early stage startups who just got their pre-seed or seed funding. We have been doing it for 2 years. We have been really passionate in helping startups succeed. And one day, me and my partner Joe, we sat down and we were telling ourselves, how can we scale this up? Right. So we started helping out startups when we first started the company, and over time we started serving the institutional clients when they realized that we actually are really value for money, and we are able to help them to innovate and produce products that they will want to try out for their own corporate ecosystem or for their own processes. So we started creating a lot of corporate apps as well. Maybe a certain company, a certain they will want to do a certain task. They would say, for example, they have a new marketing department. They would like to streamline all of their marketing leads, their deals into a simple platform, and they want to create a platform to do that. And they start calling, "Hey, Adam, let's do that," and we will, code it out, do it for them, let them to quickly, rapidly try prototype out their ideas and deploy them. So while doing that, couple of months ago, I had a side hustle. It's called Cloud Intern, where we actually decide to build smarter chatbots. And this startup was received the Enterprise Singapore Startup SG Founder Grant, as well. It was awarded entry to the Alibaba Cloud Entrepreneurship Program. So what I'm trying to say is that for myself, I'm not the best entrepreneur by any chance, but I do believe that we have the skill set, at least the technical skill set to build great applications, and that's why we are really excited to roll out our 4 applications as soon as possible. So fun fact, in our initial roadmap, we actually plan to have our applications launched within 2 to 3 months. And when I think about that, I think that, hey, that's too slow. We gotta do it faster. And that's why we already have our SOC app up. We already are in the process of completing the beta version for the community app, and that's for myself. Joe, he's our operation lead. He's the one managing all of the manpower, all of the hiring, our payments, accounting. He is also he's a really good friend of mine. He's been a business partner of mine for the last 2 to 3 years. He started off as my intern in my very first startup, and he quickly won my heart with his powerful operational skills, and he became a partner. So Joe also runs an app development firm. So as mentioned, he created an app called Time Block, and it was sold for 250,000 US dollars a couple months back. The rest of our team are comprises of social entrepreneurs. G1 and Outbid, they're both in the same social um, enterprise that they are funded by a government arm. And Termin our marketing lead used to be the marketing lead for Slush Singapore, a entrepreneurial event conference that's huge. So, can we get links to your business registration filings in Singapore? Yeah, pretty sure that they are going to be up on our website. I'm check out this utility space in a couple of days. It will probably pop up here where you can have full access to our company registration papers. Um, and the next question I have is, how do you think Subx is going to deal with the market fluctuation and uncertainty? How do I know it's not a rug pull? I think that's a really good question. So there's 2 questions. Let me go answer the second one first. We are in this project for the long run. Our development team and our core team, they are fully doxed. We have shown ourselves on camera multiple times. This is our seventh AMA, and we are a registered entity in Singapore. Hey, wait! Before that, I think all of our faces are here. Let me just show you the team right here in full glory. Our myself, our advisors, and our core team. So there are more people here, and we are in the process of getting all of them onto this page. We have people of multiple of all of various genders, and we have people from different background, profession, nationality, truly building a global inclusive ecosystem. So a couple of weeks back, we actually got a question where, something to do along the line where a homosexual individual allowed in the ecosystem, and I told the person that it's an absurd question. Of course, everyone is welcome to be part of our platform, regardless of race, gender, nationality. We do believe that everyone deserves an equal and fair chance to have the opportunity and the tools to create great startups. And that's really what we are going for. Regarding the current market fluctuation, so the past week we have seen the market kind of bleeding a little bit. There are a lot of money going out of the crypto space, a lot of money, and when that happens, a lot of money flows out of the altcoin space as well, and we do get hurt by that. So, what we plan to do is that in times where there are a lot of uncertainty in terms of where there are not a lot of people willing to invest in altcoins, we will shift out our marketing strategy a little bit. Instead of going for hype, instead of going for a lot of promotions, we will shift our strategy to release more educational content that's more specific um, to investors who are willing to invest in times like this. So a favorite quote of mine is that be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. And I think that's really the kind of strategy that the marketing team is going for. Right, when market's bleeding and everyone's fearful of the altcoin market, we're going to go in a little bit greedy. We're going to pump in a little bit more budget in our marketing. We're going to switch the target audience of our marketing as well, to be sure that we are getting the correct kind of investors who have the same mindset to be able to and have the capacity to invest in times like this. So how do you expand the marketplace beyond the online and crypto space? This project is truly a gem and will interest wider than the crypto community. It would be great to run roadshows, campaign, billboards, etc. Yeah, of course. So of course, this community is not only limited to the crypto space, right? We are not only going to fund crypto startups or DeFi projects. We're going to fund any kind of impactful startups, and that's what we're really excited about. For starters, to build out the marketplace, we will be first accepting software as service company where they can list their software up. The reason is because we do not have to deal with the logistics. It's much simpler to fulfill software products, software sales, software discounts, and there's also a existing wide market of startup founders, of entrepreneurs willing to buy lifetime deals, heavily discounted deals of software products. You can take AppSumo as an example, a really successful software marketplace, and that's where we plan to start. But of course, as we grow and we have the resources, we plan to not to scale out of the software market and perhaps into physical goods as well, where it could be a marketplace for startups to sell their own products, their physical products, where we can even have fulfillment services where we help them to ship to customers all around the world. So it's really exciting. And what is even more exciting is that as a Subx holder, you have the voice, you have the vote to be able to point out direction to where you want this platform, this ecosystem to go. Of course, our team have our own roadmaps, our own goals, but we do listen to the community a lot because, as we said, we are not the best entrepreneur. We're not the best whatever. We rely on the expertise and our community, the people that the smart people in the community to provide us with insights and guide us along the way because it's a journey together. We are all in this together. So, are there any plans to reach GIC who has a knack for being early investors in unicorns? No better than to get involved in a Singaporean startup in the crypto space. So, of course, we do plan to eventually reach to bring this to a government level initiative where we can hopefully partner with government agencies and institute to be able to deliver our value to their ecosystem. Right, I'll give you an example. um, Once our apps are matured and they are able to provide a lot of value for our holders, it is possible that we can go to a government agency anywhere around the world, for example, Singapore, and say, hey, you guys, we are willing to offer our ecosystem, our applications to your ecosystem of startups. And that could be a really fun and adventurous way to grow our ecosystem and to get some legitimacy as well when we partner with government institutions. So I think that will be later down the roadmap. If my answer is a little bit unclear, I do apologize because I got to be really, really careful of what I'm saying. Not only because we are a registered company, we are open to liability if we say something wrong. So as at caution by legal counsel, we I got to be really, really, really careful and cryptic about future plans that potentially involve the private sector, the government. So I'll tell you what, if you do have the opportunity to send me this question again personally on Telegram or on my LinkedIn, I will try and give you a more concrete answer. So I do apologize for being a little bit cryptic there. When can we see the other admins and devs speak on the AMA? So I think they are really the reason why that I am able to come on board during our AMAs is because during the nighttime we are not developing our applications. But even though it is almost like 11 p.m. in Singapore, our marketing team, they're still at it. Our communication team, our community team, they're still going at it. Have a lot of work to do. There are a lot of groundwork that we have and we require to continue doing in order to make this project a success. It's only just the beginning. I think we have been fulfilling our milestones really quickly, and we are building as much of a foundation as we can in order to scale up the Subx ecosystem. And a lot of people have been texting me like saying, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? You got to understand that we are fundamentally different from meme coins or charity coins where they do not necessarily have a face behind them or a legal entity behind them, and they can do all sort of wacky marketing techniques. I'll give you an example. Something that has been really, really popular in the space is Telegram raids, right, where you hype up your whole community to raid another person's Telegram channel. And while it's not particularly illegal to do so, it can really quickly cross the bloodline of being cyber harassment. And things like that. We got to be really careful because we are planning to grow it into a global ecosystem. And in order to do that, we got to make sure that we're not doing anything fishy or doing anything illegal. So we are explore and we are in a unique position where we are trying to appeal to both the startup community as well as the crypto community, right? There are a lot of ways. There are two different markets. There are two different modes of marketing towards them. However, as a start, we are going for this subset where the startup founders are also interested in crypto. A smaller subset of that, we are tailoring our marketing towards this audience first because these are the audience that would be the most passionate about our project. And in the future, in the near future, we will be having dual marketing strategies to target both people in the startup space to come on board our platform, as well as those in the crypto space to come on board our platform. So the marketing team, they're working really, really hard to plan this out. We have help from our global consultants and global ambassadors to come together to schedule a timeline of the monthly marketing plan, and they have been really, really crucial in supplementing our marketing team into creating proper, powerful strategies for acquisition. So before that, we are planning to actually um, answer a couple more questions before we have to we have to head off to continue our work. This live stream has been up for almost an hour. I am going to take a 10-second break. I'm going to get some water. So in the meanwhile, let me play up a video that our marketing team has made for the Subx token. All right. All right, I'm back, all refreshed. It's 11 p.m. in Singapore. There was a question that I saw just now on a private message that Juwon has sent to me, but it was lost in all of the other questions that he have sent. Um, and that was a really good question. So I'm trying to find it again so that I can answer it because I kind of forgot what it was. So in the meanwhile, I will continue answering the question first, and hopefully Juwon will be able to pin it up for me. Okay, so I have a question. There have been a trend that the crypto market tends to enter a period of recession every 4 years, and I predicted that 2021 will be that year. Have the dev marketing team accounted for such trend to their decision to release Subx during such times? And how have they prepared to challenge a large sell-off if this were to take place? Really good question. It's a very fair question. And I would like to so this was what happened to me during the last sell-off. I've been buying cryptocurrency since 2016. And during the last sell-off, a lot of my friends, they stopped trading. They lose interest in the crypto space because it's so much bleeding. All of their investments are heavily in the rate. And do you know what they start to do? They start to they start the businesses. They started to explore to start their own startups, and I see this as an opportunity, right? Where the crypto market starts to bleed, right? People will start to transition into traditional ways of generating income, which is building your own business, starting a new side hustle. And I think this is where Subx token can really shine. If we can position ourselves as if you will, a hedge against a crypto recession, I think this will be absolutely perfect. So you could be trading, you could be buying meme coins and charity coins in all the way till the end of 2021, and if a crash do happen, you can come to the Subx ecosystem, where we will provide you the necessary tools you need to start your own business, to weather out the crypto recession. And I would really like to position Subx as a hedge against a crypto recession. So the marketing team have accounted for such trends as previously mentioned, and that's why they are experimenting with a couple of marketing strategies, especially in the bleeding or bear market. So I've mentioned previously that instead of going for promotions, instead of going to create hype, in the bleeding market where people are not particularly too enthusiastic about spending money into altcoins, we will be using the budget to produce more educational content to better position ourselves for an eventual recovery or retracement. So how do we prepare to challenge a large sell-off? The ecosystem was designed in a way where you need to hold a certain amount of Subx token before you are able to access our applications. So one of the important strategies that we have is to make sure that our ecosystem is sticky enough where people are using our applications. They do not want to lose access to our applications, and thus do not want to sell Subx token. And I think that's a really important part of our strategy, because sure, we can have a lot of technical mechanisms to prevent to cushion the price fall, right? We can increase transactional taxes, we can pump in more liquidity into pancake swap. We could burn tokens to try and compensate for the fall in pricing. There are a lot of technical ways to do it, but the question is, how sustainable can this method be? Because if there's truly a crypto recession, right, it's not going to weather out in a month or two. It could be for years, and there's only so long and so much that these mechanisms can sustain or cushion a price floor. So what we instead plan to do is to create fundamental value with our ecosystem application, as previously mentioned, right? There's value in holding Subx token. You lose value by selling Subx token, and that's the direction and the pedagogy that we are going for. So I hope that answered your question, Timothy. All right, so I think this AMA has been really fruitful. Prior to this AMA, we had a crypto moonshot post by one of our community members, one of our members who kindly decided to give us a post on crypto moonshot, and I think that post has been doing really well. So once again, I thank you everyone for attending this AMA. This is our seventh AMA, and we are trying to do weekly AMAs to keep you guys updated on what we are doing, to build a relationship with you guys, as well as to share all the cool news and all the exciting stuff that we have in store for the Subx ecosystem. So with that, I would end this AMA. If you have any other questions, you can proceed to our Telegram chat. I think Jiwon's gonna post a link up soon where you can continue to ask us questions there, and we will reply at our own pace. Our community managers are really enthusiastic and they're really happy to reply and help people who have any questions. So once again, my name is Adam, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your time. I am signing off.